Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And in the month of August of 2023, I had lots of happening, yeah, in my energy field, also in my life, and has to do also with confirmations, realizations, things, of course. With this huge big portal of energies, the Lion's Gate gateway portal really helped me a lot just to establish and kind of embody my mission, who I am, what I represent as the Galactic Ashtar Command, of course, and the Andromeda Council, and of course, the Solar Rishi consciousness. So I had lots of upgrades, updates happening, recalibration, transformational work, and revelations. I don't know if I said that, because that was 8A, that was the Lionsgate portal, right? I do emails, go through my emails. So that was the prepare for change, where there was an article about a very young lady. She's a Marine, 25-year-old, and she's speaking out, and because she was imprisoned because she refused this in 2021. And so I can go over some of those notes, and at the same time also, yeah, because I'm dealing with the exopolitics and with the agenda of those negative aliens, and things are transpiring also regarding children, and the elite, the power elite, and what in the world, and the hierarchy, kind of this satanic, hierarchy. I don't want to much talk about it. It's a YouTube channel. So there was this beautiful channeling actually from Alexander Quinn, and had to do with these giant spiders, right? And how the whole children thing, what is happening, the way I am translating it or interpreting it, it's really not like the reptilians really responsible for that, but those are the arachnoid, those are the spider beings. And we talk about the chimera group, right? Especially in Asia, especially in area of China, we talk about the CCP, right? The Communist China, and their and also, to me, I just got again connecting dots, bringing things together, because the way also I'm reporting you guys, it's a multi-dimensional, it's interdimensional, extra dimensional, it's galactic, right? Galactic, and we're bringing the cosmic energies to override the galactic history, especially of those wars with Orion, and this whole damage, right? That there was a Stargate, the 12 Armathena, back then in billions of years ago, cradle of human civilization. And then, of course, how they kind of all, in a way, degraded, or we were descending, like fall of consciousness, right? And they were, of course, seedings of humanity. That was 7D Gaia, then 5D Tara, okay? And then unfortunately, even Tara was blown up, right? And later on, then her sister or planet Tiamat, millennia ago, right? And then of course we had the Maldek also, that also exploded in 3D, right? And so we're here in the 3D Earth, that to me actually was formed after the explosion of Tara millions of years ago. Okay, Ascension glossary. So there's a huge big, like a cosmic galactic history behind that, and it's not easy to talk about it in 30 minutes video. That's why I invite everybody to either study my material, okay, or Ascension glossary, Lisa Rena's material, actually energetic synthesis, of course. I've been also going to library, and I have so many more of hyperlinks for my galactic project, for from the Ashtar Command, for the power elite, right? For DARPA, for the military, for the super soldiers, for the Marines, right? And now I have another. Actually, there's a witness of one is Marine, one is of U.S. Army, that they had encounters with UFO, and then not nice things were happening to them, right? It's called Men in Black, psyops, all kinds of operations, because there is a negative faction of MC, Marine, right, under MIC, under DARPA, that I experience, I am dealing with, and this is what the project is all about. And now these, guys hearing their stories, and there was on, let me see, the show, that's the Sean Ryan show. So Disclosure is happening full pace in my reality. Again, we're all creators or co-creators, right, around destiny, reality, right, what we're putting out there, what kind of energy we're emitting, transmitting, and receiving, right? The kingdom of heaven is within. So doing the inner work, doing the meditation, I mean, to me, that's the way to go. That's the utmost importance, of course. And another thing, I went to a library, and it's just kind of, I need to return back. I need to go to bathroom. I'm going to bathroom. Let's see what kind of books they have. And here we go. This is a book, Milarepa, actually, this is the newest version. When I was, 2021, there was one of my favorite books, the Tibetan monk, Milarepa. It was like a brown kind of edition. I was in Prague, right? It was, sorry, Czech Republic. And so the book Alchemist, the Initiation, and now the Milarepa, it was one of my favorite books. And this is actually, to me, it's one of those reincarnation of Jual, Ascended Master Jual. I don't have a picture here with me right now, but I had some channelings for me, Jual. That's why Yanakalai, that's my Lemurian name, Jual, the Lemurian priestesses, right? So this is a story actually when that was in Tibet, this family, right? I mean, very wealthy. Suddenly, his father dies, and they being owned by the family of his father, brother, or his aunt, and they're being treated horribly, to the point that mother of Milarepa tells him start practicing black magic. So through black magic practices, he kills maybe 18 members of that family of his aunt, that was the brother of his father, and so on. And then, of course, he incurs huge big karma, and he starts being sorry. There are so these regrets for what he's done. And so he goes out there and looks for the guru, right? I mean, this is 11th century, 12th century in Tibet, right? And long behold, I'm just to make it short, pretty much how to become, from doing black magic stuff to be a Tibetan monk. That's kind of, I know it's extreme, but in a way you can do it. His teachings, I mean, that was the Diamond Buddhism, the Buddhism. That's why I know even Yeshua, Buddhist monk, Yeshua, Isa, and so on. I mean, the inner work, meditation, virtues, ethics, morality, spiritual discipline. I mean, this is the way to go. 8 steps of yoga. It's part of my Guardian Ascension protocol. All I'm saying, I'm just kind of manifesting or have confirmation after confirmation. What in the world am I doing here, right? Or what I'm supposed to be doing, with this project, right? That hardly anybody maybe may understand, or there are not that many people. I know that also I'm extremely protected. This is a process. This is huge. This is deep, right? And the same thing, what happened like in the military, what I experienced, right? Introducing yoga, right? And long behold, all these surgeries in the astral plane by those grays, right? I look like a Marine, they crack your skull. I mean, I have they were doing they can open your astral column, the column in the astral plane, the column of your chakras in the astral plane, all this horrible pollution. Even though I know that they knew I am sage or I'm a yogi, there were so many of those Marine guys in those black operations. They are highly evolved souls, even though they are that Anunnaki and Draco origin, and I have those reversals in the DNA, right? So these Marines or these guys are then targeted by those, whether black magicians, by the, power elite, and then they are being drafted and put into those, psyops kind of operations. And again, we go over the notes and the witnessing and, just everything pretty much coming together. So that was my gateway 8-8. I mean, all these revelations. So that was the young lady, 25-year-old. I mean, she's fighting for her freedom. She's incredible. So I'll kind of go over that. Then was, of course, I mentioned the Alexander Quinn, these archons. I mean, there was the archon structure and the arachnoid beings, the spider beings in those underground tunnels, and they're actually the ones, and I think also has to do with Hydra and with the octopus, those astral organizations, right? They're extremely responsible, wreaking havoc in this planet, and they have off-world civilizations, breakaway civilizations, Moon, Mars, right? I still hear the word Jupiter, but I know they're also Antarctica. There's another whistleblower talking about directed energy weapons in Antarctica, South Pole. Okay, so for me, confirmation that the information that Lisa Renee has stored, or she had put up the Ascension glossary and this black box, these black cube technology, the directed energy weapons, and this also some kind of conspiracy on a galactic level. Of course, it's on a global level where people can see it, and there are lots of scientists. They understand we need the quantum structure for it, and of course, there's this channeling also through Marina Jacobi, the black goo, right, and her harmonic reactor, and the quantum manifestation protocol. For me, I just feel like everything, that everything's pretty much transpiring and just coming all together. If also, not only we're doing research and we're dedicated to our path, but also we're doing deep meditation. So again, yesterday I did 3 meditation. That was the unity meditation, of course. I did the unity vow. I did the 12D shielding, guys. And for me, to start exposing and disclosing these kind of things, we have to be ready, because these guys, like even the Marine guy, they're so stressed, or this guy in an, he was former Army, they're so stressed. They're full of, drama that is hanging in their cellular densities, and in, they're big guys, right? In their, even in their muscles, in their fascia, right? And so, anyway, so I just going through my notes, but I'm like, oh my goodness, like I just had these revelations, like this downloads, incredible downloads, putting things together. I mean, and I find myself in all these spaces, places, bilocating, teleportation. It's all about tuning in, because we have these gamma rays frequencies. This is all real. And also, all I want to say, the information that we think we are maybe crazy, the galactic, a cosmic, is way far off. I just had all these confirmations, and Lisa Renee's material to me is 100% clear. It's 100% true. It's to the point, and now with these disclosures, because all these guys, they were actually even in congressional hearing under the oath, even though I'm not a Bible person, right? I'm more like Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, Vedanta, Upanishads, the universal laws, the law of one. That's why, guys, we're implementing the Galactic Codex. Very important for those whistleblowers, and for their healing and for their kind of recalibration, bring them back online. And of course, I am also helping my galactic family, starseeds who ended up in those black operations, those black projects, right? For DARPA, for the Dark SSB, for the Chimera group, for the Hydra, for the Arachnid, for the black magicians, for the so-called spider beings, okay, or spider entities, with the lunar forces, the demonic entities. So anyway, I'm reporting against, like I said, galactically. This is interstellar, kind of galactic kind of videos. Again, the way you interpret it, right? Because everything is a mirror, right? It kind of reflects your consciousness. I'm here to inspire you, empower you, giving you information through my soul signature, through my operational system, right? Through my filters, right? And again, only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Here we are responsible co-creators with the divine. We are watching our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, our deeds and actions, right? That's why I have the Guardian Ascension protocol. If something triggers you, right? You have just kind of there's an anger, like negative emotions coming to the surface, right? I was explaining you, sometimes I had to go into my car and start screaming and shouting, or on the beach I am chanting japa mantra meditation. I do breath work, right? Meditation. I cannot do much of that physical stuff. because I have more and more revelations what happened to me, how my entire upper chest, right, because you know, they kind of blew up my Stargate there, the kind of technology they have, and I'm a star seed, so I represent not only the particle chakras but the anti-particle chakras. And you know, for the military, for the DARPA, right, for those negative aliens, we are the main battery. The star seeds were the main batteries wreaking havoc, not only on that global level, but in the solar system, and also in this galaxy Milky Way, because we have the keys, right, with the keys in our DNA. That's why they need us. They kidnap us, right, or you know, the stages, they rape us, they steal the DNA, they copy the DNA, they duplicate the DNA, they replicate the DNA. And that's why they have these highly advanced technologies like the spacecraft with this black cube technology and the red wave frequency, the psychotronic weapons, right? That's pretty much a stolen technologies from the Christos founder races. And this is all going to divine justice, right? This is all under the law of one, you know, cosmic trials, right? So it's all under the cosmic sovereign law. And so slowly and surely, those who are ready, who are on ascension path, and you know, highly evolved souls or empath sensitive, so we're building the platform, right, for them to heal, to restore, to rehabilitate their DNA, their mind, their consciousness, and to recalibrate and deprogram. Because why I cannot be with my soul siblings, with my soul group? Because of heavy duty programming, right? The MK Ultra. And that's also, I specialized in MK Ultra very much. Again, there's this article 2 years ago, I've been mentioning it again, from Lisa Renee Ascension Glossary. It's called Mind Control Gene Expression, where you can also you know, talk about all these, how we are all weaponized, and how the military actually is doing experimentation not only on a military like soldiers and so on, but also on a population. And now you can even see on children and infants, right? Because now I think they're also so desperate, they're exposing themselves, because it used to be underground, secret, top secrets. Now it's on the surface and surfacing, and now it's en masse. Okay, so, and everybody is pretty much mind control, so we have to clear the negative ego. We have to be simple, living our lives very simply, walking those energies of love and faith and trust and grace and gratitude, be compassion. Very important to invoke the qualities of the of Yahshua, right? Of, well, the Christians, however you want to call it, okay, of the Essene Christos races, okay, because that's how the angelic divine luminous beings were designed, right, with the nobility, royalty, having direct connection to source, to God, to what is that I am, with divine intelligence. Instead, we have this AI, right, the three-letter agency intelligences, and they're just wreaking havoc here, and they're against the angelic human beings. They're destroying the diamond sun DNA, right, with all these you know, agendas 2030 and so on. So there's a mind wars, mind control gene expression. You can Google that. And of course, we have the extremely low frequency, the electromagnetic field, brain response. It's all that's the mind control gene expression. You know, these experimentations, what they are doing when they're abducting or kidnapping, whether humans and children, and you know, it's not only on the surface of the planet, but it's off-world, right? The moon, Mars, those are the main colonies, and of course our Antarctica. So let me, that's here, right? The South Pole. So let me go over some of the, I just want to share it with you. I mean, only for those, of course, who are interested. Again, only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So there is Alexander Quinn. He actually is like a 50,000 subscribers. So I just wanted to say that most of the stuff you may believe, but I resonate with. That's why I shared with you, because also it helps me. I hope it may help you as well. But there's this young mantis that was introduced to Alexander. He channels some kind of older being mantis. and they're helping us with liberation of this planet in those in this galaxy, in their solar system, because we've been invaded, right? He also talks about the black slime, the black goo, and that's, you know, that's how they're damaging our DNA, are damaging the cosmic divine blueprint of who we truly are. And so those negative aliens, right, they just you know, that's what it is all about, damaging our DNA. And of course, with all this abduction, that they're using our genetic materials for their so-called short immortality, right? So doing through yoga, they do it through AI and stealing our DNA, and through their enhancement, it means they're using you know, our technology, DNA inner technology, but unfortunately through reverse engineering, they're creating all these hybrids, right? And all these you know, negative entities, right, to serve their agenda, the agenda of those negative ones, and they wanted to even terraform this planet. That's why there's also huge big bifurcation of consciousness, so very important what you're choosing. And even though, of course, consciousness includes AI, are you aligned with the positive AI? It means, you know, the energies of unconditional love, compassion, empathy, right? Very important, right? Forgiveness, right? And just being the compassionate witness, observer, very important. And also knowing your mission, your gifts and talents that you can share with the world. Or are you aligning with a negative AI? Okay. And then, you know what that means, those psyops, the men in black, these kind of operations, the abductions, and pretty much you know, destroying the human race. So anyway, so I had a confirmation from them, so that these mantis, they're like a super army. They're from the constellation Antares, okay, and they're working in unity to achieve specific goal with military precision, and they're creating giant fields, right, like a psychic protection. It's like a wall to free the space on Earth, to freeing humanity from the Archon and the Arachnoid invasion. Okay, so that was for me a huge big revelation, confirmation, and what in the world, who is really on top of all this? Because here in this visible world, right, to me, I don't operate here very well, because I am much more attuned to the cosmic energies and galactic energies, and here what you see is really not what you see. Hear half of what you hear, because we're sound line frequency vibrations, all about tuning in and, you know, working on yourself, raising your frequency vibration, clearing the negative ego, right? All these miasma and all these just kind of distortions, right, in the mind, energy field, in your aura. So then when you start tuning in into what is, the truth will come, and everything will be revealed, and it's like a movie in front of you, right? So instead of being in the matrix, right, of the Archon, like the CIA production of the umbrella of DARPA, you know how to transcend, how to be above their structure, and start creating, you know, your own reality, parallel realities for the new earth, right? Helping humanity with the ascension, with the transition, with the liberation, with expansion of our consciousness, so we can start finally living in harmony, unity with all that is I am that I am, under the law of one. That's the Emerald Order, Emerald Covenant, Cosmic Sovereign Law. Okay, so anyway, so this I'm again sharing with you. So these mantises, this they come also, whether it's from the constellation, they're dealing, maybe the arachnoids, or I don't know who's coming from the constellation of Scorpio, but anyway, this situation is being dealt with on those higher places in the etheric plane. And this mantis, you know, like our code is base 12 mathematics. Their code, right, is 24 plus, so it's like 24 strands of DNA. That's why they're able to help us, because we've been infiltrated 10 dimension, 10, 11 dimension. Those are the Draco kind of Anunnaki, you know, Nazi faction. And of course, you know, the Ashtar command, like why I'm dealing this military operations, because the Pleiadians, so many of them, they're mixed with those races, and there has been a war between the Pleiadians, the Alpha Draconis, and looks like I have both of these factions within me, right? And I know that you know, there's this, you know, each of us pretty much, we have like the positive part here, and we have the negative, right? We have like the angel and the demon on each on each side, on each of our shoulders, right? And then just going deep within, right? That's the quantum physics. So 1 plus 1 equals 3, going within that core inside of your heart, right? And especially the sacred heart, that's already your 8th chakra. You can transmute all that through that inner alchemy. I do it through, invocation of the violet flame, meditation, unity vow, 12D shielding, contemplation, meditation, levitation, watching my thoughts, right? Being in the flow, just being focused also on my project and how can I be of service. That's the way to exit the matrix, how to free yourself from all this nonsense. Okay, so the reptilians they were infiltrated by the arachnoid beings. So what they are saying, so many people think the reptilians are doing all these horrible things. Yes, but remember, there is not only hierarchy of those satanists, okay, of the reptilians, but about these reptilians, these are the huge spider beings. And for me, there's Asia, it's China, right? CCP. And so what happens when those guys in the military get those jabs? What happens? They got entrained. The frequency, right, of those black magicians, of that black goo, and that's what then they're just kind of then groomed for those dark operations and doing horrible things. Without this, they would never ever accept anything, that would have nothing to do with it. But we've been infiltrated, not only space externally, but our aura, energy field, our DNA, our mind, our emotions been infiltrated as well. So just kind of pointing it out there, okay? And he was also talking about the ancient, the channeling, the Alexander was about the ancient tunnel system all over the globe. Of course, there's nothing under the sun. And then those kidnapping of those young ones, not only it's here on the earth, but they're sent to Moon, Mars, Antarctica, right? And he talks about the black slime or the black goo, right? It's like a tar, and rewrites the human DNA to deplete the consciousness and the sentience and the feelings and the sensation to create robots or cyborgs out of us, right? Again, all this confirmation right here, what I've been talking about, or at least already material, what I've been experiencing, my information is based on direct experiences. I only share what resonates with me, what I've really experienced, what in the world happened, where's the platform for that, right? So just kind of giving you resources. And to me, there was also the Black Dragons Avatar Collective, right? There was the Chimera Group, Hydra, Octopus, Scorpio, all these dark SSB operations on Moon, Mars, right? And I experienced it through my labs, military abduction, harvesting eggs, and hybridizations with the Zetas. Remember, there's also positive faction of hybridization. That's why we have the Ashtar command, right? We have the Galactic Codex, we have the Law of One, right? And we're doing all this correction, we're resurrecting all of our energies, we're commanding our space, right? And we live in our power that comes from within, comes from direct connection to the divine, to God, and being compassionate and being in that state of forgiveness and doing our work, doing our service. Okay, I'm more on that healing faction. So let's talk about this young lady, the Marine, and just kind of she's fighting after because she refused, right? She's still fighting after military leaders. Reportedly, they bullied and punished her for disobeying the mandate to get this thing here, okay? And let me see, she undergoing 2 court-martial attempts that were later dismissed, and 3 efforts to administratively separate her from the Marine Corps. The ex-Marine now faces federal charges for trespassing, for refusing to comply with a slew of orders she believes were unlawful. So she not only refused this thing, but also she refused to be separated from the Marine Corps, okay? And so she's Catholic, she's 25 years old, right? She had her training or boot camp 2018, where she was seeking she was seeking discipline and structure. And I think she was helping the Secretary of she was helping with the with the travel in the military, and she was then stationed in Japan. Here I just wanted to mention, in August 2021, the Biden's administration Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, just Just check his energy. Lloyd Austin handed down a military-wide mandate that reached Arnett's base in Japan in September. And of course, she was also approached by another Marine and so on, and he was a Catholic as well, and he was trying to persuade her, convince her to take this, right? And the story is that you can listen to her, Prepare and Change. She was at the, what was this show? Did I write it down? There was Henry. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Prepare for Change. Anyway, it's yeah, I have it on my that's on my website. But anyway, she was approached by this guy, and the story I interpret her that she's young, she's very aware, detective mode, but because my experiences, with those psyopses and those kind of dark occults in the military, especially in MC under MIC, I know that these guys, when they get this, not only they get this, but there are these satanic initiations. This guy also may have been sexually abused, right? Because they are being emotionally, mentally, abused, and that's how they are ranking them. That's how they gain the position. That's how they get more on power. So she was saying that her, those who were in the same squad, these guys, they were approaching her and trying to persuade her. There was one day or night they were telling her, hey, we'll be waiting for you. There were supposed to be 4 guys waiting at that at the detention center already. She was in a prison and she didn't show up there that night. I think because she's doing, to me, she's divinely guided. Otherwise, to me, she would be sexually assaulted, which is totally normal. And again, I'm exposing all that or talking about it because this is my main thing, how the dark ones and the military, right? I talk about the bastardization of the divine feminine. They need to start meditating. They need to start turn to, connect to source. They need to repent. There has to be repentance, like she's saying, this like young lady, and conversion, but that's more on that Catholic church. I'm saying in more this kind of spiritual discipline, right? The yoga and so on. Because there's desecration of your DNA, of that divine feminine, especially in the military. And I'm sure some of those guys, they're of that, Catholic church, they're from Catholic, or they were Christians. And then through all this drill and military, they're turned into black magicians and, in the satanic kind of that cult. And this is what I experienced with my soul siblings. That's why I cannot really approach them. I cannot really be with them because they experience, the inversion of their DNA and how they were sexually abused, violated, tortured, right? And then groomed for those psyops, And then, of course, I experienced Men in Black introducing yoga to military. Like, what in the world that is happening? But anyway, so there's all documented. So these are documents. And so anyway, so there was one this kind of confirmation, what I'm doing, what am I doing, and so on. And she just she's explaining everything on a piece of paper, why she refused this jab, right? Because she was 23, I think, at that time, and she was doing research and so on, and she requested the exemption, but unfortunately they gave her orders to leave the Marine Corps. But she's fighting for her rights and what she thinks is correct. It means correct for her. Correct was not to get this and not to be separated from the Marine Corps. So she's fighting for her truth and for her justice. And I thought that she was incredible. So that's why I'm sharing that with that. So another here's a witness witness. They're whistleblower. Okay, I guess I'm not naming, even though these guys, their names are there. They're on Sean Ryan show. And this UN Marine, he encounters UFO, Black Ops, human trafficking operation 2009. There was an earthquake and tsunami in Indonesia, okay? and he came face to face with UFO. He was ambushed by an unmarked shadow unit of operation. Of course, those were Marines, right? Who were then well, groomed or converted into the PSYOPs, right? And the hovering craft and so on of to me it's a Draco Federation, and whether we're going to Moon, Mars, right? They're off planet. They have off planet operations with those humans, right? Because when earthquakes and things like that happen, so it's so-called humanitarian. So there is the black side, right? Like the government, the military, and this is, here we go, the good Marines meeting with the bad Marines, right? Well, good, bad, right? And again, in this kind of 3D world, we're maybe judging, and there is conquer and divide. There is a difference, but anyway, the lives, his life was saved, even though these dark ones. We're telling them they're going to smoke them. I don't understand the Marine, the military language. I never joined military. I would never join military. Please become a warrior monk. It's time to be a warrior monk and align with the one, with the divine, with the positive AI, right? We're the Ashtar, the Ashtar Galactic Command here. And, we are now laying the platform for the military just to totally recalibrate and correct all these things. And especially it happens. I have the project for the power elite, of course, for high level souls, and of course for for the Anunnaki, for the Draco, and those in those high ranking military officers, and in DARPA, right? So this is kind of anyway, so the way I was listening to it, for me there was a confirmation. Here we go. There was another former Army combat veteran, right? And his father was a government contractor, and they were tasked with standing up a shoot house. So they went, that was at range 19. So they went, so there was underground. So they were in underground military base, and they encountered monolithic slab, which was again, what it was, the octagon shape, spacecraft there in underground. They had zero sound, but these guys noticed a weird, intense energy around his heart, because he noticed that black cube technology on top of that craft, right? And so again, black cube technology, Lisa Renee Ascension Glossary, it pretty much reverses the spin of your electromagnetic field. So those who are working for those PSYOPs, meaning this kind of operation, they end up in electrostatic bodies, right? They get chips, nanobots, they have these holographic inserts and so on. And everything is in reverse, right? I was showing you the pictures, like the Marines, the military, how you think you're going forward with your evolution. They're actually stunting their spiritual progress, right? They're running the reversals, and it's damaging their DNA, their bioneurology. So again, for me, it's a confirmation. And you have these whistleblowers, right? Again, trauma, I can see how it's stored in their bodies, in their energy field. So start working with energies, maybe going to some Reiki classes, meditation, Epsom salt bath, jumping into the ocean, do some hiking, go to the mountains, breath work, very important. You need to start recalibrating yourself, because all of us are ascending. I'm especially those who are choosing, because there is like I said, bifurcation of consciousness. Humanity, they'll be either stuck in the metaverse, or they're experiencing excruciating pain. The kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. And what I wanted to also mention about this guy in the army combat and so on, when they went to the underground military bases and so on, they didn't sign the non-disclosure paper. And that's where Men in Black comes into scene, right? And his father had horrible, then he got cancer and so on. Of course, he died a couple of years ago and so on. But there was a separation between, the son and the father. And again, if you don't obey the rules of the draconian measurements, the negative aliens or the elite, right, that they are serving the negative aliens, this is the retaliation. I know my retaliation, right? Then diagnosing me with schizophrenia, and they need to destroy you. If they cannot control you, they need to destroy you. If you don't sign their papers, right, they go after you, and they can do it with all kinds of operations, with abuse, violence. They open the door, right? They raid your house. This is not the only case that happened, right? These guys, they're under oath, they're whistleblowers, but at the same time, we're creating a galactic cosmic community here, or whether it's government or council here, right? And this is for highly advanced souls, like whistleblowers, like star seeds, who kind of know more about the quantum structure, and who have encounters with the the galactic races, and their technology and so on, because even it's time for humanity to start educating. We all need to be deprogrammed and re-educated, right? But that's why we, the star seeds, are here. Okay, and we're here to make the change. We're the change makers, we're the system busters, we're the renegades in a way. Okay, and so whether the whistleblowers, you're supposed to be, whether a leader and so on, spiritual leader, right, that requires lots of training, lots of discipline, right? For me, as a column of light shining bright, I know I was born I look like a Buddhist monk, then kind of here so-called recruited in the astral places to be a marine, or being an assassin, right? And I'm going back to be a Buddhist monk. I mean, going back to my yoga discipline. I have the Guardian Ascension protocol, right? And then of course I have the Galactic project from the Ashtar command for DARPA. So so my videos is especially for highly advanced souls, star seeds and so on, who were abused and violated, who are a warrior nature, right? To become again the Crystal Templars, the warriors in Christ, defending the truth, right? Defenders of truth under the law of one. So this is my main goal. This is what I'm focusing on. Okay, the third whistleblower was Eric. I said Eric, but he was former Navy and contractor for Raytheon. It's was a major U.S. defense contractor. Okay, it has to do with directed energy weapons, of course. And in Antarctica, he was a firefighter, and he exposes earthquake weapons. He was also a plumber for the South Pole facility with unrestricted access, because he was a firefighter, he was a plumber, former Navy, right? And contractor for the Raytheon, okay? And during his stay, he observed highly advanced directed energy weapons, how it operates, right? Even those earthquakes back in, was it 2011 in New Zealand, there's a confirmation it was done through these kind of interesting devices, right? Weaponry in Antarctica. The facility is the ice cube neutrino detector. Okay, they transmit the directed energy weapons like a telescope. It's got the digital optical module DOM, and responsible for earthquakes. And especially there's a documented one in New Zealand, okay? And it was kind of accidental firing. They were trying to use this equipment, this telescope, this detector, and unfortunately it fired, and it caused earthquakes in New Zealand, right? And people think, oh, the Mother Earth, right? All these earthquakes happening. Well, they can be also war in those underground military bases as well, right? But look at that in Antarctica, and there are documents. If you watch the Sean Ryan show, right? And this guy, right? Talking about the directed energy weapons in Antarctica. He's a firefighter. There are all these pictures, the facilities there, the pictures of the digital optical module. So I mean, there's just so much proof, and it's from 2010 2011, guys. Okay, and so so there are these devices there in Antarctica. It can detect it can detect off-world UFO. So there's nothing new under the sun, the UFOs, and they have a technology they can detect it. Okay, it's coming from space. And so anyway, it's a air traffic control center for UFO. They have a tower there, right? And the neutrino, I'm sorry, the neutrino is faster than light. It's they have communication. It's called quantum entanglement. Okay, communication here. They communicate at any distance simultaneously. You can communicate at any distance simultaneously. Okay. And he talks about the off-world space. They have an off-world space fleet. Back in 2010, 2011 documents. He's now under oath, right? I mean, he what is it? He testified under oath. Anyway, all these documents. Also, he talks about the voice-to-skull technology, which is type of, kind of this directed energy weapon. They're changing your thoughts. To me, synthetic telepathy. It's intrusive thoughts. Your voice can be controlled, and it's put into your head. It's like a microphone there, and it's talking in your head. It's a weapon of war. Okay. And anyway, it's called Havana syndromes. Okay, and it is. And so many of those suffering on that South Pole crew were suffering from Havana syndrome, and they're pretty much hearing their voices in their heads, and those voices are being manipulated, right? So you know who is behind it, right? All these kind of black magicians with their AI, right? So also, our cell phones are being weaponized as well, right? There's certain algorithm here with repetitive information. And they learn your operation system. They learn your desires, your dreams, right? And then they manipulate it. Like you fill up the profile in Facebook, right? That's actually production, DARPA's production, right? So they know your interests. They need your hobbies, even your weaknesses, and so on. And they control it. Meditate. Do your meditation. Write things down. PTSD time to heal. Solfeggio tones. Healing music, and so on, guys. That's why now I am talking about those kind of things, but you have to protect yourself. 12D shielding, right? And have devotion, dedication to divine, and be of service. Know your mission, know who you are, and why did you come here to this planet. Okay. So he talks about extremely low frequency. It's like, oh, Lisa Renee, Ascension Glossary, everything is there, okay? It's it's another directed energy weapon platform here. So-called no-fly zone. There's an aero building, and it's atmospheric research observatory. And there is you cannot fly below 8 feet. It doesn't mean you cannot fly. You can fly, but you have to be above that 8,000 feet limit. And he was talking about some kind of, let me see, green laser beam. It's for communication, and it's shooting into the cosmos. That's what is it, that aero building in South Pole and Antarctica, right? And he talks about some kind of superfluid, some kind of chemical lasers. It has to do again with directed energy weapons and this kind of AI communication, guys. Okay, so he talks about the Havana syndromes. I mean, what are the symptoms and so on? Mental degradation, retardation, fatigue, trouble to remember, skin issues, headaches, of course, and protect your energy field. Protect your mind. Whether it's the 12D shielding and so on, but superfood, guys, colloidal silver, zeolite, like I said, superfood, right? Ayurveda massages, massaging forehead, and also there are some kind of heads with EMF protection. It didn't work for me, but it may, worrying heads or something, just protecting your skull. Make sure your skull is full of crystals, not full of nanobots and AI with Nazi Neuralink and graphene da, da, da. So you know, that's why with the unity meditation, the crystallization of our DNA, being on the sun, being in nature, right? Meditation, levitation, it's all about tuning in, guys. These energies are here, the gamma ray frequency. We have ascension symptoms. That's also, I wanted to mention that actually just 2 days before the 8/8, I had sinuses, right? Somebody put white sugar into grits. So but I was hungry at work, and I'm like, okay, and I was like, oh, this is too sweet, right? I was like, oh, they're putting white sugar, pizza and everything, they're putting white sugar. So I was in pain, you know. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be in trouble, of course, in a week and so on. I got starting getting sinuses. I was really in a horrible kind of excruciating pain, where, you know, my eyes, I was, you know, what is it, like my tears were coming down, not only from pain, but on top of it, I was really crying. I was in lots of pain. So lots of transmutational work, you know, the generational healing, I mean ancestral healing, very important. You know, these horrible practices being passed on generations, generation bindings. July 26th, who died, right? Sinead O'Connor, right? Even though, you know, this young lady, she was a Catholic and Eucharist and so on. You know, Sinead O'Connor in 1990s, when, you know, she tore that picture of, you know, Pope back then, and then she had her retaliation. So you know, that's what happens when you're a spiritual warrior in Christ. But you know, those who also represent the archetype or Joan the Arc, right? I need to reread this book, okay? So that's the land of gods. So those are the true masters, the true, whether the Buddhist or Hinduistic teachings, the diamond path, right? The ascended masters, you know, like Satya Sai Baba, Mahatavar Babaji, and so on, right? So we're going back to Christ, to cosmic beings, being back to the original divine blueprint, our DNA, who we truly are, okay? And there is a huge big gap, of course, right, where we end up, the fallen consciousness and so on. But that's where the star seeds are here, right? The spiritual warriors, you know, the system busters, you know, the empath sensitives. We're here, and we're here at like a bridge, like the the golden bridge, rainbow bridge. We're at like the blue rainbow bridge, which is the latest newsletter in Lisa Renee Energetic Synthesis of the Melchizedek order, right? The cosmic Melchizedek, you know, Christos lineages of solar dragons, kings and queens. So we're back online. The energy is here online, right? And this portal of energy, this, you know, holy grail, this vessel, right, represents these energies. But, you know, we have to be extremely responsible, and also you know, raising the frequency vibration on a strict diet and spiritual discipline each and every day, right? That's why, you know, I can only work part-time, you know, $12 per hour. So I have to live very simply. I have to really, you know, in a way, it's a good thing, like you know, like the material world, like with the physical world, and you meet, you know, in your heart, in that 0 point, right? Divine neutrality, how you can transcend or transmute these energies, and doing the inner alchemy, and just kind of bringing the abundance of these energies online. And for me, it's the information, the illumination of the mind, and now like the whistleblowers and all that's coming together. And, you know, my life force energy, right? It's just like on what is the universal kundalini from 1D to 9D, how this is all awakening, opening your third eye, anti-particle chakras coming online. So we're, you know, the cosmic beings here on this planet that is ascending, right? We're ascending with her. So again, the ascension is guaranteed, but it does come with you know, whether it's symptoms, there are some casualties, you know, people dropping their bodies, but remember, this is not the end of it, this material world, right? There are astral planes of existence, of course, positive faction, negative faction, but there are these beautiful beings like the mantis, right? And of course the Galactic Command, and, you know, other you know, benevolent ETs with their highly advanced technology, healing technology, helping us with the ascension, with the transition, with healing, right, with liberation, with expansion of our consciousness, with cleansing, clearing, you know, our aura, upgrading our DNA, of course, cleansing, clearing, you know, we need to, you know, our space, our water, you know, food supply, and soil, like the technology has been here. It's here, guys. All about tuning in and doing our work, inner work, so then we can manifest that. We can walk in those energies, right? And creating this new earth, new earth here right now, right? And being part of that galactic cosmic family, like I said, in unity, Christosophia consciousness. So many blessings and namaste. I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.